Today we are going to dive deeper into Oedipus Complex, and specifically if you are a parent or if you're a future parent, what not to do to your children. Sigmund Freud believed that young boys between the ages 3 and 6 reach the developmental stage called Phallic Stage of psychosexual development, where they start lusting over their mothers and want to kill, metaphorically speaking, push away the parent of the same sex, their dad. They don't realize that they're doing that because it's driven by the unconscious desire, the id, the primitive and instinctive part of our personality. Where does the actual name Oedipus come from? It comes from a Greek mythology where the young king Oedipus accidentally kills his father and marries his mother, therefore bringing chaos and devastation to his family and to his nation. Sigmund Freud believed that this complex occurs in every boy from the ages of 3 to 6 across the world. You can hear boys say at the age of 3, 4, 5, they say, "Mommy, you're the most beautiful woman in the world. I'm going to marry you when I grow up." He's totally and utterly in love with his mother, and it has this erotic connotation to it. At the same time, he tries to push away the dad. He still loves the dad, but he sees the rival in him. He competes with his dad for the attention and love of his mother. So closer to ages 5, 6, now he realizes that mother and father have a relationship, and he develops this fear that the father will find out how he truly feels about his mom, and he starts to develop this fear of castration, of losing his penis, his balls, his manhood. So this stage of sexual development, phallic stage of sexual development, where this Oedipus complex happens, it's very big. You can almost divide it into 2 stages. So at the age of 3, a boy starts to discover that he has penis and balls, and it feels good when he touches himself there. He notices that the stream of water feels good. It's called autoerotic energy. It's directed at him, directly by him. But closer to the age of 5, 6, it starts to be redirected to an object, right? In this case, as Freud puts it, his mother. So this is a normal psychosexual development. It's very important that a child doesn't have any disruptions, any traumas in this period of his life. Well, in general, between the birth and the 7 years of age, it's a very important developmental stage to lay the base, the ground for healthy development of an individual. So if there is no traumas occur during this period, the Oedipus complex, it resolves itself. The boy closer to the age of 6 realizes, I have parents, I have a mother who I'm in love with, and then I also have a dad who I love, but I also hate. But I see that it's my mother's man. I'm not her man. And he slowly starts to identify with his father now, to copy him by the way he talks, walks, shaves, dresses, treats his mom. And so his erotic, his love redirects to a different subject. Like he finds a girl in the kindergarten that he is in love with. So what kind of traumas could occur during this period? Alcoholism in the family, domestic violence, parent abandonment, if the mother leaves and gives her son to be raised by her mom, or if a mother has bad relationship with her husband and she starts to substitute the love of her husband, love of her man that she desires, with her son's love. She starts sleeping with him in the same bed. This is a very common mistake, and it doesn't have to come from that source that I just described. Some women, they just love to be close to their babies, and so they send their husband to sleep somewhere on the couch, and they sleep with their sons. This is very wrong to do. Children in general, girls as well, they have their own room, or at least their own space, and they have to understand this higher family hierarchy. There are parents, my authority, and then there is me. And the parents are separate from me, but they love me and I love them and I depend on them and I look up to them. The mother starts to confide in her boy. Basically, she substitutes that energy that she's lacking from her husband with her little boy's energy. She makes a boy to be her therapist. Later on, she can be jealous towards the boys, teenage boys at that point, girlfriends. She tries to catch them masturbating. She tries to catch him naked. So overall, when the mother is looking for intimacy from her son, she doesn't, often women don't have men in their life. So they try to substitute that intimacy that she's supposed to derive from her man with her child, with her son. And it's very damaging on a boy's psyche. Also, of course, fathers play a big role in that. If the father is cruel, right, towards the child, towards their mother, the son can identify either with the father, with the aggressor, right, and then in his adulthood life repeat this pattern of the behavior, or he can identify with the victim, with the mother. How else this developmental disruption can manifest in the adulthood life? For example, the most common one, men are attracted to older women. They can hang out and date the girls of the same age, but their sexual desire is trapped during that period because something went wrong during that phallic stage of development, so they solely desire older women, right? And now we have excess of mother-son pornography. Unfortunately, I didn't even know that existed until recently. And so they indulge in that porn, and then they strengthen that neural pathway by which they only can be attracted to women of their mother's age, and then will make it so much harder to rewire and to heal that. You're asking me how this can be healed, right? So it's very deeply rooted. It's very hard to heal something like that. So, but I believe it's possible, right? I mean, what Freud did, he tried to treat people with like shock therapy. But from what I know, it's either you accept this reality of yours, and maybe you just settle with dating, with building relationship with older women. It occurs actually more and more in our society. Or there is a harder route where you start to rewire those neural pathways. And that means you're not going to use that imagination, that fantasy, because it's like a thwarted path. You know it's going to get you to arousal, it's going to get you to your orgasm. And you start to do practices, breathing practices, intensely present practices. Testicle massage helps with that. These practices that came to us from tantric, from Taoist tradition, some psychological techniques, maybe hypnosis, maybe EMDR, maybe ayahuasca, right? To use everything we have today to rewire that. But most importantly, you will have to settle for some boring sex for some time, not to go into your usual imagination, but to be here in the present moment with just your bodily sensations. So next week I will record a video on Electric Complex. We'll dive into girls' development, which is very similar but a little different to men with their relationship with their dads. And then I'm also going to talk about 5 stages of psychosexual development and what kind of disruption could occur in each stage and what it can lead to. My name is Katya. I'm your certified sex and relationship coach. I teach people, I bring them together. I don't want you to masturbate to porn or to your vibrator. I want you to have connected, elated sexual experience with each other. If you found this information useful, please click the subscribe button, hit the like, and I would love if you share it with someone who needs it and comment on it. I'll see you next week.